Today we're here with Gladys Claybeck, former principal of WCHS, and we're going to be asking her some questions about her grandpa or her dad who's in the war. First off, where was your father deployed, and how old was he when he was deployed?
My father was deployed out of Regina, and he was 17 years old, and I'm not sure whether he was honest about his age or whether they were just happy to get soldiers. And so he had just come through the 30s, which were a rough time for many of the people in the area. He was raised in Leslie, and he couldn't have afforded to go to university. And so when the opportunity came up for him to join the armed forces, he chose to enlist.
Okay. When was he deployed?
Well, that would have been 1939. He was born in 1922. And in 1939, he went and he spent some time in Winnipeg, and then would have gone to London by ship. And he spent some time in London. And I should have asked him more questions because I don't know the details on how long he was in each of the places. I do know that they didn't receive a lot of training before they went to actually go to war. And then from there, he went to North Africa.
What was your father's rank and what did he do?
You know, I don't know my dad's rank. And really, I didn't talk a lot about the war to him until a week before he died. And that was when he told me the story that I'm going to share with you in a bit. But he was a radio operator, so they would have been using Morse code to communicate. And he did radio repair as well. So he did say he went on some flights, but that wasn't a regular duty for him.
All right, and how did having a father who was in the war affect your life?
He was always very involved with the Legion, and so when he came back, the people who had served formed legions in their local communities. And so for all of the time that I was growing up, there would have been Remembrance Day services that observed the people that would come in their medals and their Legion jackets. They were a service group, and so they would try to help people with things like youth camps for track, but it was just comrades, they were called, and I think that's what they were. They were friends that shared stories, and every year they would go to the Remembrance Day services, even after my dad left Foam Lake, where he lived after he came back. He would go in Saskatoon, and some family members would accompany him because we knew it was important to him.
What are some stories or personal experiences he would have told you from the war?
That's the one that he shared with me just the week before he passed away. And he talked about when they had gone to North Africa. And this is where I'm missing pieces too, because I don't really know how they got from London to, it would have been the tip of North Africa, where they were boarded on trains to get to Tunisia. And he said that the trains were so loaded that the people in the cars couldn't sit down. They took turns sitting and standing, and they were on the train for 4 days. It was hot and it wasn't comfortable. And I have no idea where they went to the bathroom. Those things I would have asked maybe now, but He said that when they got to North Africa, they were unloading the trains and they hadn't eaten for 4 days. And they were walking to where they were setting up camp, and an American plane went over, and it had a crate, a big wood crate, and it was dropped from the plane. And when the crate hit the ground, the crate broke open, and all kinds of containers went flying. And so the people that were close to them ran to try to get a container. They realized it was food, and nothing was labeled, so they didn't know what they got. So they went to their camp and set up, and then they started opening the food to see. So it was kind of like Christmas, because it was presents for everybody, and they didn't know what it was. And so my dad's pan was like a 9x13 cake pan, kind of with just a metal top. And so when he opened it, it was bacon. And so when he started to cook the bacon, the smell in the camp was just something that everyone was drawn to. And he was probably the most popular man in the camp. But I think that his service he was proud to have served for his country. And I have pride in what he did to help us have freedom and have the life that we do. No, I think it was a good experience for him. But he wasn't really in intense battle either.
That's all we have for today. Thank you for coming to answer some of our questions.
You're welcome. Good job.
Thanks.
Thank you.